Hello, so today we dive into what is the best live streaming camera that's easy and quick to set up, looks super professional, and why this is my recommendation in episode 3 of this series, How to Live Stream, where week by week I'll tell you the best systems and equipment and show structure so you don't have to research hundreds of YouTube videos looking for the answers. So if you're a content creator already or you're just setting up a new studio, then stay tuned and listen to these recommendations. So welcome everyone, hello, and welcome to this show. Yes, it's live and anything could happen, and as I say, it probably will. So thank you for tuning in, and please let me know in the comments where you're from, what industry you're in, and of course, hit me with any questions. So my name is Tim Spiers. I'm a content creator and marketeer, and I run Slipstream Creative Agency. I'm here every Tuesday at 12:30 discussing content production and video marketing and all that cool stuff. So the purpose of this channel is to help all you guys create better content, to distribute it effectively, creating better businesses for a better world. So jumping straight in, looking at your camera options. Now, of course, you can use your webcam, and there's many webcams out there. Thing to consider is it a 1080p webcam, or is it only streaming 720? Of course, you can get a 4K webcam. So just to give you a comparison, obviously, this isn't a webcam I'm using right now. So if I flick over to this, so now you can see this is me using a webcam. You can see there's a lot of difference in the quality that's going on here, with the background, with the focus, the color rendition and contrast, compared to using a professional digital camera. So obviously using a professional camera is going to be like way better. We can get this nice soft background. It keeps the focus on the subject, so your attention is going to be here. So let's look at different options. Now you can use any DSLR as long as you can get a clean HDMI signal out of it. Another thing to consider is you'd also need a cam link. So that's a converter, so you can stream the image. So typically Elgato do a cam link, and you link into that, and then you can use that as a stream. So other digital cameras that are very popular would be something like a Canon M50, or Panasonic Sonic cameras. Again, they'll all need the cam link converter. So that's just another thing to consider. It's an extra cost, extra little hoop to jump through. Another interesting option would be to use a Sony camera. The thing about Sony cameras is once you've downloaded their software, Image Edge, you don't need any other software from that. You just plug your camera into the computer and you're good to go. So that's really a huge advantage. So having done a whole ton of research and some experimentation, my recommendation is totally going to be to use Sony cameras. So the main reasons being is that Sony certainly have the best autofocus out there compared to all the other brands. And this is a huge advantage if you're moving around, or you're showing off a product, or doing an unboxing video or anything like that. To have that autofocus is really super helpful. So the ease of setup, having those autofocus features are really, really beneficial. So I'm going to now look at some comparisons within the Sony range that you might want to consider, and we'll look at different price brackets as well. So let's just have a look here at I'd call it an entry level, but these are great. These are really fantastic Sony cameras called the ZV-1. The advantage of these, which is really nice, is it's an all-in-one, which is you don't have to buy anything else. It has a flip screen, so this is really perfect for any kind of vlogging. If you want to walk around with it and talk into it, you can clip on a little mic. It comes with a little a soft case for the mic, a wind protector. And these are under £700. So for an all-in-one that includes a lens, that's a really good option. Also, they have an artificial soft background, so you can get a soft blur effect. It's a digital effect, but for a quick run and gun and for something to look really professional, that really is a fantastic option. So another thing to consider with these is if you want to use them for other things like vlogging, then they're really perfect for that. You can flip the screen round in either direction. So for vloggers, that's ideal. And they also, are so easy to use. You can just get up and running straight away. So top recommendation there if you've got that sort of budget. So looking at another option here, we're just going to bring up next in the range would be the Alpha range, so the 6100 here. And these are really good because you've got detachable lenses, so you can start to really build up your lens collection and start to be more creative with what you're doing. They have the pop-up flip screen, which is again super useful when you're doing any content creation. The other thing to consider is you've got 4K recording on this. So to get a much higher quality recording, you certainly can. Now, obviously going live streaming, you're only going to be streaming at 1080 or less, depending on your streaming package. And that's the thing to consider, the package you're using. So for example, we're using Restream, which in our last episode we recommended. And a thing to consider is if you're in a free package, you'll only have 720p output. So if you've got the paid package, then you can stream at 1080. So it doesn't matter what camera you're using. If you haven't got that package, then you won't be able to stream at that resolution. So for me, that was definite advantage of paying for the service, so you can stream at a better quality. So with a kit lens, that comes at just under £800. So you can see this example here has a 16 to 50 lens, which for a kit lens would be very useful. That's quite wide, so for streaming, that's quite nice. You can get a sense of the room. This lens now is set to around 50 mil, maybe slightly wider, 45. So just to give you an idea of perspective. So detachable lenses we talked about, they have a much better ISO range, so they're going to pick up better in low light, so you've got that advantage. And of course you can use these for photography. So these are 24 megapixel cameras, which is plenty for photography. 24 megapixel, you're still creating images that are 6,000 by 4,000. So, even as a business, we deliver to the client perhaps 2,000 by 3,000, and that's still a really large image. And by the time they go on the internet, let's say, there might be just 1,000 pixels on the long edge. So you've got plenty of scope there for photography as well. Still with these, you've got a crop sensor. So that's just another thing to consider. The difference between having a full frame as opposed to a crop sensor is, again, its ability to work in low light. So that's just a consideration. If you've got your own lighting, your more controlled settings, then it's not going to matter. So if you don't want to spend the extra money on a full frame camera, then crop sensors absolutely fine. And they still make beautiful lenses for the crop sensors outside of just these kit lenses. And Wi-Fi connectivity, you've also got with these, so that's great. Then there's a couple of other options within these ranges. So if we look here, now we're looking at the 6400. So still on the crop sensor, so you're using the APS lenses. As you can see with this kit lens, you're under £1,000. You're at £940. So great for photography. Kind of similar. You're in that similar sort of range. You've got more editing profiles it can record in. So this can do S-Log profiles. So you've got those slight advantages, which is great. And then going up, you could look at the 6600 alpha range. Again, some advantages. It comes with the Z battery. Z batteries are fantastic, mainly because they last an awful long time. I can shoot all day long and I won't change the battery. So compared to the alkaline batteries that the other cameras have got, the length of time these run are insane. And especially if you're doing video recording, you really want good longevity out of that. So that's our Z range. We can then, if we just look at the some comparisons there on the chart, as you can see, they are quite similar. They've got some great ISO figures there. They're saying the 6400 and 6600 there's 102,000 ISO rating it can go to maximum, which would be insanely high. And I think on a crop sensor, you're going to get hideous quality, but nevertheless, it can do it. So worth considering these factors. And they're all Wi-Fi Connect and NFC. So that's, a huge plus there. Then when you're going further up the range, the next thing you could consider, if you've got the budget, would be the Alpha range. So if we look here, this is the Alpha 7C. Now the Alpha 7C is more aimed towards, I would say, content creators. Your full frame camera, so photographically you could do good high quality product photography, model photography, and you've got the flip out screen as well as it rotates round, so it doesn't interfere with mounting a microphone on top. That is a consideration with the other cameras that flip up only. You would have to mount the camera somewhere else or put a bracket on and mount the mic onto that. With these, you don't have that issue if you wanted to do an on-camera mic, and it's just nice to have that screen that is out to one side and rotates round. Really super useful. This is the camera I'm using at the moment, and it's is going to be my recommendation. That's why I actually bought the camera. You can get them here with these kit lenses, and you can see the price there at $19.25. Without the kit lens, it's about $16.50, something like that. And I would say it's debatable. It's worth, perhaps, for that little extra money, getting the kit lens. If you bought the kit lens on its own, it might cost you more like £400, so you're getting quite a large discount. For me, I wanted a much better lens. So, for example, my personal choice was I bought the 24-105, and it's an f4 lens. Now I'm used to using f2.8 lenses, but for video production, f4 is quite a safer bet. And as you can see now, we're getting fabulous bokeh in the background, that soft depth of field. So I think, and it's fixed f4 all the way through the whole focal range. So whether you're zoomed in or zoomed out, you're still going to get f4. That's not going to change. So I think that's fabulous for video creators. That's a real bonus. So that would be like a super combination that I would certainly recommend, and that works really well together. The other advantages with the A7C, apart from just the screen, is of course you do have the full frame sensor, which is huge, which makes a massive difference, because in low light it is super amazing. It's still 24 megapixel camera, but one doesn't want to play the pixel number game, because my other camera is 36 megapixel that I might do product photography with, or editorial shoots, but they wouldn't work as well in low light. So if you're doing any type of photography like that, or where you're not introducing external lighting, then it's better to have something like a 24 megapixel, because it will work better in low light. You won't get the noise in the blacks and in the detail, so that certainly is a huge advantage. You've got all the S-Log color profiles in there, all the picture profiles, so there's a huge amount you can do with this camera. Really easy to, all these things are so easy just to pretty much plug and go into your computer as well. The other advantage with the A7C is you've got continuous record mode, so it's not going to cut out. You can have it recording all day long. So again, for content creators, that's really super helpful. And that would be also, a huge plus. If you're on a corporate production, you've got 4K capability. You can record non-stop, and it's fantastic. The other consideration with these cameras, with these Sony cameras, is the fact that they've got the best autofocus. They've got the eye detection. And with the A7C, you've got trackable eye detection as well. And in fact, crazily enough, you can set it to eye track for animals or humans. So you can choose between the two if you like doing pet photography and things. So that's why I'd say it's really a content creator's camera, because you can turn it into a webcam like this for just doing video blogs or live streams. You can use it out in the field as a blogging camera, but you can use it to create high quality content for corporate productions, or whatever type of content you're creating. So it's got the future proofing in it. So you're not limited, because you can just grow your kit with something like this and just keep adding different lenses, prime lenses that all clip on. You've got full frame lenses you can use on the FX lenses, so which they call the E-mount lens in the Sony range. So highly recommend that. Again, it comes with the Z battery. So that's amazing. Other things I look at here, if we looked at the weight of it, so size and weight, this camera is only 500 grams without a lens on. So for gimbal use and things like that, it's super light and flexible. Really, really super happy with that. You know, I've used this quite a lot this year on corporate productions, events, and the flexibility of it is just amazing. So this really is my top recommendation for you if you've got the budget. But as you can see here, we've gone through from under £700 to up to nearly £2,000, including all your lenses. You can get cheaper cameras than that, but you really want to decide for yourself what you're going to be using them for. Is it just going to be for live streaming? Do you want it for other purposes? So I think that's a real consideration. Another one of the reasons I also went over to mirrorless cameras is they're so light and portable that you tend to, it's more encouraging to have them on you the whole time. And you know, if you haven't got it on you, you're not going to shoot with it. And as good as mobile phones are, you can't do what these can do, and you can't clip on these different lenses, and you can't be as creative as you can with these cameras. So if you want a more professional look and you want to be taken more seriously and stand out from your competitors, then this is one way to really, really set yourself apart. So that just about wraps it up this week. So thank you for listening. Join me next Tuesday at 12:30, and we'll be looking at different lighting setups to bring better quality to your productions. If you need us to come in and help you set up any live streaming equipment and studio and kit, just direct message me, and I'll be happy to have a chat and see how I can help you. So thank you for joining me. And if you found this content useful, please subscribe or follow my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much. See you next week.